Okay, let's talk about QuickBooks. We've all been there, right? Staring at this long list of expenses, just trying to turn what feels like a pile of pure guesswork into something you can actually guarantee is correct. Well, today we're going to fix that for good.
So let me ask you, and be honest with yourself. When you're looking at that drop-down menu in QuickBooks, are you choosing those categories with like 100% confidence? Or are you just clicking on whatever sounds, close enough? If you're like pretty much every business owner I know, you're playing a guessing game you really can't afford to lose.
And the crazy thing is, this isn't a one-time thing. Oh no, it's a monthly chore. It's this recurring game of financial whack-a-mole, where you're just trying to jam hundreds of transactions into the right buckets, really just hoping you get it right. Let's look at a couple of examples you've probably seen.
So here's a classic. A pretty big payment to your lawyer, right? $1,200. You look at your options: legal fees, professional services, or consulting. I mean, they all sound plausible, don't they? So you click one, you move on, but that tiny little bit of uncertainty, yeah, that adds up over time. And you know what happens with all the small stuff too? A simple subscription renewal. Is it software or is it dues and subscriptions? It's on your computer, so maybe computer expenses? You just want to get it done, so you pick one and you keep moving. But every single one of these little guesses, it's like a tiny crack in the foundation of your finances.
And we're not talking about just one or two tricky transactions here. For a lot of businesses, we're talking about 150, maybe even 300 guesses every single month. Think about that. Each one is a tiny little gamble with your financial data, and the sheer volume of that guesswork is it's staggering.
You see all this guessing? It's not just some administrative headache. It has real, actual costs that hit your bottom line directly, creating a much bigger problem than you might even realize.
You know this voice. I know you do. It's that little seed of doubt that pops into your head with every single click. It's that low-grade anxiety that comes from knowing you're not an accountant, but you're being forced to make these critical accounting decisions. And you just ignore it because, well, what other choice do you have?
And this is where that doubt leads you, right here, your year-end accountant bill. You might even see a line item that just says recategorizing and fixing errors. That's not your CPA doing high-level tax strategy. That's just them cleaning up the mess from a whole year's worth of your guessing. We're talking hundreds, sometimes over $1,000 a year, just to undo the work you already did.
So the consequences get pretty severe. You risk missing out on legitimate tax deductions, or even worse, taking deductions you aren't actually entitled to. Your own financial reports? They become basically useless for making smart decisions. You end up paying your accountant for cleanup instead of high-value work. And all of this mess, yeah, it can even increase your risk of an IRS audit. The whole system is just designed for you to fail.
But what if you could just stop guessing? What if you could have an accounting expert on call 24/7 to help you get it right the very first time? Well, that's exactly where AI comes in, acting as a true expert partner, not just another simple tool.
The solution we're talking about is an AI that's been trained to think like a CPA. It doesn't just match keywords from a list. No, it analyzes each and every transaction, using the same principles of tax law and accounting that a human expert would. So this isn't about finding a close enough category anymore. It's about finding the correct one.
See, this AI has this incredibly deep well of knowledge. It knows the difference between an expense that's 100% deductible and a meal that's only 50% deductible. It recognizes that a charge from, say, Office Depot is totally different if it's for $50 versus $5,000. It actually reads the memo line for context, and even knows that a materials cost means something completely different for a consultant than it does for a contractor. This is the kind of expert knowledge that is absolutely crucial for getting your books right.
Okay, so what does this actually look like in practice? How do we go from the chaos of that old guessing game to the confidence of knowing your books are dead-on correct? Let me walk you through the new workflow.
Okay, check out this perfect example, an $1,850 charge from Best Buy. Now, you might just guess office supplies or maybe computer expenses, but the AI, it immediately flags the amount. It knows that big purchases like this often need to be depreciated over several years, not just expensed all at once. So it'll categorize it correctly as office equipment, and get this, it explains why, even noting the specific IRS rule. That single insight could save you from a massive tax headache down the road.
And the new process is just so simple. Instead of that multi-hour slog at the end of every month, this becomes a quick 10-minute weekly check-in. You just pull your latest transactions, you let the AI do all the heavy lifting, you give a quick scan to approve its suggestions, and then you batch update everything in QuickBooks. That's it. Done.
And the time savings? They are absolutely massive. We're not talking about shaving off a few minutes here. We are talking about reducing a 3-hour monthly task all the way down to less than an hour total for the whole month. That means you are literally taking back hours of your life every single month.
So let's get down to it. Let's talk about the bottom line. Beyond all the time you save and the stress you get rid of, what is the actual measurable return on investment for having perfectly clean books?
Let's start with your accountant's bill. Just by eliminating the hours they spend on cleanup, you could save, on average, over $800 every single year. That's real money that goes directly back into your pocket or, back into your business.
But it's not just about the money you save, right? It's about the time you get back. We're talking about reclaiming at least 30 hours a year. I mean, what is that time worth to you? Whether you spend it on growing the business or just spending it with your family, it's an incredibly valuable asset to have back.
So when you combine the cost savings from your accountant, the value of your own reclaimed time, and the potential tax savings from getting every single deduction right, you could seriously be looking at a first-year ROI of over 200%. A system like this can pay for itself almost immediately. So here's the crucial point. Just imagine it's next tax season. Your books are perfect. Your financial reports are actually useful for making decisions. You've saved a ton of time and a ton of money. The question is no longer, did I get this right? The question becomes, what are you going to do with all the resources that you've just reclaimed?